Galaxies are a collection of millions or potentially billions of stars, as well as a large amount of gas, dust, and dark matter. All of this is held together by a gravitational attraction. Most galaxies have a supermassive black hole at the center, although this is not a necessity for a galaxy to have. This is Sagittarius A. It is a supermassive black hole that lies at the center of the Milky Way and is approximately 32 times the size of our Sun. Just like us, galaxies come in different shapes and sizes. There are three main categories, the first one being elliptical galaxies. These galaxies typically look like a glowing smudge because of their circular shapes, and are usually found close to the centers of galaxy clusters. They range in size from tens of millions to over 100 trillion stars. The next category that galaxies can fall into are spiral galaxies. Spiral galaxies are twisted collections of stars and gas. Spiral galaxies make up roughly 72% of all the galaxies that scientists have observed so far, and the Milky Way is a good example of a spiral galaxy. The final main classification for galaxies is irregular galaxies. Unlike spiral and elliptical galaxies, irregular galaxies do not have a distinct or regular shape. These types of galaxies are usually small, around a tenth of the mass of the Milky Way. And because of their smaller sizes, they are prone to crashing into intergalactic clouds and larger galaxies. The origin of the word galaxy comes from the Latin Greek word Galaxies, which translates to Milky. The closest galaxy to the Milky Way is Andromeda, in roughly 4.5 billion years. This neighbouring spiral galaxy Andromeda will collide with the Milky Way. If you were somehow alive during this time and you looked up at the sky, this is what you would see. However, if humans are still alive during this time, we would most likely not be on Earth. Because of the sun's expansion, the Earth's surface would be far too hot to survival, and liquid water would not be present. This collision of galaxies would result in our solar system being swept out or ejected entirely from the newly formed galaxy. Although this sounds bad, it would have little disturbance on the system, or to the Sun and any other planets. The Milky Way is currently colliding with several dwarf galaxies as I speak, such as this one, which is called SGR DSPH. The amount of galaxies that are in the universe is truly unknown. Due to the universe's vast scale and constant expansion, we will most likely never know the amount. Although thanks to projects such as the Hubble Space Telescope, we are able to get a rough estimate of the amount of galaxies there are in the observable universe. This figure is around 125 billion. However, because of our ape monkey brains, that number is far too large for us to comprehend. And this large number is the reason why so many astronomers believe in intelligent life elsewhere in the universe, as each of these 125 billion galaxies are home to more than 300 million potentially habitable planets, including our own Milky Way. Although this is all speculation, because with all the possible different types of life forms, it is very hard to determine the rarity of life elsewhere in the universe. Scientists are still unsure about how galaxies are first formed, although there are two current leading theories. The first theory suggests that large clouds of gas and dust collapsed under their own gravitational pull. This allowed stars to form, and thus a galaxy is created. Although the second theory states that a younger version of the universe actually contained many small lumps of matter. These lumps then clumped together to form galaxies as we know them. The Hubble Space Telescope has actually photographed many of these lumps, which may have formed present galaxies. According to this theory, many of the early larger galaxies were spirals, but over time these spiral galaxies collided together to form larger elliptical galaxies. Most of the images of galaxies that you have seen in this video have been captured by the Hubble Space Telescope. Because of the distance that the light has to travel from the galaxy to our telescopes, we're actually looking at a past version of these galaxies. But these telescopes are not literally looking back in time, as if time is linear, then the past no longer exists. Instead, they are capturing early light beams that were produced by the galaxies long ago and have only just travelled to our solar system. At the time of making this video, a new telescope was launched recently. It's called the James Webb Space Telescope. It is meant to be the successor to Hubble and is around 100 times more sensitive than Hubble. It will allow us to see the furthest beams of light produced by the earliest galaxies, which should give us more of an insight on how galaxies are actually formed, although it will take 6 months for the telescope to become fully operational. Many galaxies measure more than 100,000 light years across in distance. It takes over 200 million years for the Sun to orbit the center of the galaxy. When the Sun completes this process, this is called a galactic year. You may have seen some images like this before. These are called nebulae. They are formed through the explosion of a dying star, such as a supernova. They are basically giant clouds of gas and dust, the remains of these dying stars, and I think that these are some of the coolest images taken in space. I hope you liked this first video on my channel. Many more videos are planned and in the works, so subscribe if you would like to see similar content to this. I really don't know what I'm talking about half the time, so if I've made any mistakes, then please do correct me in the comments. Thank you for watching.